Hello, everybody. This is Gilgamesh, and today we are looking at Isaiah 14:9, and this is a great verse for Halloween. It says, "Sheol mitachat ragza laka likrat boeka orer laka Raphaim kol atude eretz hekim mekisotam kol malke goyim." Okay, this verse roughly translates to hell beneath is angry with you to meet your coming. Awaken for you the dead spirits, all the goats of earth, arise from their thrones, all the kings of the nations. There's a lot to take apart in this one. Give a little context here. Isaiah 14 is about the fall of the king of Babylon, a terrible tyrant. And this is right after a verse where we explain that the very trees of the forest have broken forth into singing about his downfall. And so this is talking about the downfall of the king of Babylon and his descent into the underworld. And so we get to start off verse 9 here with a reference to the underworld, Sheol, generally translated as hell. This word means more of a realm of the dead. Everybody goes to Sheol. It's not just a place for the wicked or anything like that. Sheol is seen as this great pit that swallows up those who have died. Sheol from beneath. The chat here, beneath. Then we have this word right here, ragza. Ragza, he actually had just used earlier in this chapter to say that the redeemed of Israel will be given rest from ragaz. It means here to be angry, to tremble. So this is the idea of hell from beneath trembles or is angry. This same wording is used to describe thunder, the roar, the surge of the sea, also a term for an earthquake when applied to the earth. So the idea here is that hell from beneath is mightily shaking. It is angry. So hell from beneath is angry for you. The you being the king of Babylon. So this is speaking directly to the king of Babylon. He has fallen from his power and he is descending into death, into hell, and hell is angry. Likrat, to meet, to encounter, to come out and meet him. So hell's not just simply staying beneath, it's coming forward to meet him. Boecha. This here is a call infinitive construct. So this is coming. And this would be your coming, to meet your coming. Then here we have, this is a PL imperfect third masculine singular. He awakens for you. And what does he awaken? The Raphaim. Well, that's a great word. The Raphaim, well, what is it? You may have heard of Raphael, same root here. The Rapha means to heal. And so Raphaim could mean healers, but it's not quite what it means. We also know that, well, it could mean to be weak, they suggest here, but that doesn't quite seem right. Not a whole lot of support behind that. But it also means the spirits of the dead. Okay, healers and spirits of the dead, those don't seem to go together. There is also evidence that there is a deity, probably known for his healing, that is a designation of a deity with whom an individual could come into a particular relationship. So also in the personal names formed with RPU. So we believe that Rafu was a deity in the Middle East, and that could be playing into this as well. And it shows up in several personal names. The actual deity designated by Rapiu is still debated, though it is most likely to be Baal or El. These are the two main Canaanite deities. But then, definition B here, the Rapum is the spirits of the dead, the shades, especially those of the royal house, according to the so-called Raphaim texts. These are Canaanite text that we have mentions they are particularly conclusive in this respect, designating the dead as healers that may have had something of a euphemistic sense, and it gives us some papers to read more on. It's actually quite a fascinating subject, the idea that the dead were also healers, but that these are the shades of the dead. We got some things about who's quoted where, dead spirits. It's parallel with matim, which means dead men. We see the parallel with death. We see them dwelling in Sheol. This is clearly what it means in Hebrew, is this idea of dead. But it's not the only thing it means. If we look here at Raphaim definition 2, it is the name of a people, and we see them actually associated with the Moabites, but most notably, it is part of a legendary pre-Israelite population in Palestine whose memory was especially preserved in Transjordan. Certainly a connection exists with number 1, Raphaim, the first definition, insofar as there is preserved in definition 2 of Raphaim a certain memory of the ancient Syro-Canaanite cult of the ancestors, the shades or the heroes. According to Parker and so forth, the earlier power of the dead is now represented in the enormous physical size of this legendary race. So the Raphaim were also a race of giants. And when the Israelites first come into the land, they run into this race of giants, and that's what the Raphaim were. So these are giants, they are healers, and they are the spirits of the dead. We think that all these ideas are connected, and there might have been in Canaanite culture a sort of god, healing god, that was also associated with these dead ancestors and ancestor worship and the worship of the dead here. But what does it mean in the mind of Isaiah when he uses these words? Hell is moving, shaking from beneath here to come up to meet the king of Babylon, and it is waking up the Raphaim, these powerful spirits of the dead, possibly giants, that are coming up to meet the king of Babylon who is descending into hell. Well, then it gets more interesting. Kol atude. What is atude? Atude is a male goat or sheep. It is the leading male goat of a flock. It is a designation for a ram or a billy goat of a certain age. So why all the goats of the earth? Obviously, this is parallel with the Raphaim. What is it about the goats of the earth? Well, we believe, if you look down here, that it also can be a metaphor for a leader or director, similar to how Ayil is used. And it also gives a reference here to this work, Animal Names as Designations in Ugaritic and Hebrew. And this, you can actually find this book on archive.org if you want to look it up. But yes, we have Ugaritic inscriptions that also do this, where we use animal names to designate the leaders. But since we are in the realm of the dead here, we have these giant healer spirits of the dead here, and we also have goats of the earth. These may be thought of as some sort of a monstrous entity that exists in the realm of the dead. And so we may have here the idea that these are some of the horrors that exist in Sheol, these goats of the earth. But they also clearly are associated with what we're about to talk about here, which is the Malakei Goyim, kings of the nations. So we have the spirits, we have these goats of the earth, and then we have here Hekim. This is voweled as a he-feel perfect third masculine singular. You'll note there is a footnote A here, and that takes us to our apparatus up here. Verse 9, footnote A. It is proposed, meaning this isn't really based on any text or anything like that. This is just consensus that this is a possible reading of this, that this should actually be an infinitive, Hekim. And the infinitive works better here. So as an infinitive, it would be rising or standing. Mi kisotam. A kisei is a chair, or more particularly when you're talking about royalty, a throne. It's interesting, same word for both chair and throne. There weren't a lot of chairs in the ancient world. Most of the time when you had a chair, it was also a throne. Mostly only royalty got chairs. But yes, from their thrones. So we have here rising from their thrones all the kings of the Goyim, all the kings of the nations. So the idea here is that the king of Babylon has been toppled. He is falling into Sheol, meaning he has been destroyed, he is dead, and Sheol is angry and shaking and moving up to meet him and awakening up the Raphaim and the Atude of the Eretz, the goats of the earth, and that all the kings of the nations are standing up from their thrones to mock this fallen, powerful tyrant who is now coming to join them. Thought that was a nice verse here on the edge of Halloween. If you enjoyed this, please join us on Discord, like and subscribe, and leave a comment. Thank you very much.